I'm proud that you learned something over the years. تفضل يا أخي تفضل.
Initials OS, Country Club Hills, Illinois. When I ask if a certain meat or chicken is dhabiha, the seller says no, but it's halal. What is the difference? Does it mean that it was slaughtered by a person of the book but not a Muslim?
And the question is from Illinois, Country Club Hills? Country Club Hills, Illinois. When I ask someone about the meat, is it zabiha? And they say no, but it's halal. Is there a difference? So on and so forth. It's like many other issues. People have terminologies that they use and they don't properly understand those terminologies. Like Taraweeh, Qiyam, Tahajjud, Qiyam Layl. All of those things are names for one thing, and that is prayer at night. But the people in the masjid, they have 4 different things. This is Taraweeh time, this is Qiyam time, this is Tahajjud time, or these are the days of Tahajjud, and then there's Witr. Or Khutbah and Bayan. Isn't the khutbah supposed to be a bayan? Everyone understand this? So people that use different terms and they use them interchangeably when they're not supposed to be. Dhabiha, zabiha, or zabiha, zabiha, as some people say, it's the animal that was slaughtered properly. Period. Muslim, Jew, Christian. The animal that was slaughtered properly. The conditions of the slaughter have been applied to this animal, and the conditions of the slaughterer have been applied to the person. Someone who isn't a Muslim, Jew, or Christian, someone who says they're Jew or they're Christian, but their aqeedah takes them out of that, or the actual animal itself, or how the animal was slaughtered, the knife, the mechanism, etc. So therefore, to keep things simple and easy, we have a Muslim, we have a Jew, we have a Christian. And they took a very sharp blade across the throat of that animal. You understand this? In the name of God. And they cut it and they slaughtered it. That meat, that cow, that sheep is what? Zabiha. You understand this? And zabiha is also halal. And if it's not zabiha, then it isn't halal. But the people, because of their ignorance and because of their lack of proper understanding, they just make 2 different terminologies now. It's halal and zabiha. How can that even be? Once more, if the animal was not slaughtered properly, it is not what? Halal to eat. The problem comes in knowing, was the animal slaughtered properly? And the default being, we live in a country, the argument of Jews and Christians. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentions this. وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. The food of those who have been given the scripture. Allah says, حِلٌّ لَكُمْ وَطَعَامُكُمْ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ. And your food is lawful for them. What's meant by food is not cherry or plum. It's not a pear or an apple. It's not a piece of fish, but it's what? An animal, a meat, slaughtered animal. So therefore, if it isn't slaughtered properly, it's not halal. So therefore, we're in the land of الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. One says, Jews and Christians. The asl is that it's permissible until proven what? Impermissible. So therefore, I'm not sure. There's no guarantee that it's zabiha or zabiha. There's no guarantee, but they're Jews, they're Christians, so inshallah I'm going to go with the asl that is what? هذا هو. So therefore it's halal, but it's not zabiha. That's the problem. That's where the confusion comes from. You understand this? So zabiha is supposed to be halal, and halal is supposed to be what? Zabiha. So if a person says, I'm not sure where this meat came from, who slaughtered it, is it lawful or not? I'm not sure, but it did come from a Jew or a Christian restaurant. That's one thing. But don't make a new term, mustalah, muhdath. And it's not just la mushahata fil istilah. There's no problem with the terminology. No, the terminology leads to belief that is different essence. You call it halal, you call it madhbuh, you call it zabiha, la bas. You call it halal, tayyib, whatever. But now, tayyib is one thing, halal is one thing, zabiha is one thing, madhbuh is one thing. The terminologies lead to different beliefs about it. And that's where the problem comes in. Everybody clear on this or not? That's where the what? That's where the confusion comes in. So at the end of the day, it depends on what you believe. A person believes that it's permissible to eat from these types of restaurants based off of a premise. And that is, it is the land, or we live in the lands of the Jews and the Christians. and the Jews and the Christians have a legislature, and they're supposedly people who follow that legislature, and it is not our job to ask and to inquire about that. Inna a'zam al-muslimina jurman man sa'ala an shay'in. The hadith of the Prophet says the Muslims have the worst punishment. The greatest crime is to ask about something that wasn't haram, and it became haram because of the person asking. But is that the fact of America? Are the Jews and the Christians here following their deen? Are they secular and nominal? Or are they actually following some type of kitab? That's the issue. That's the problem. Everyone understand this? Let alone if they are practicing Christianity and Judaism, are they using a razor sharp blade across the animal's throat? Or is that considered to be inhumane and barbaric and archaic and counterproductive against modern machinery and the efficiency of a slaughterhouse serving 1 million people a day? Tyson, Purdue, where we ship trucks across the country. Thousands and thousands and thousands of birds are processed in my plant daily. How much time is there to do that with Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, in the name of God with a sharp knife? That's the problem now. You understand this? Is that we're not living in a time of farm, rural Christians in which the women cover. They wear dresses. A woman who wears a dress on a plane or a bus is looked at as she's weird. She's strange. Wearing a long, loose-fitting dress. Women wear pants. They wear short clothes. That's the asl. They're not practicing the proper way. Everyone understand this? They're not covering their hair. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So what makes you think and feel that for some magical reason, when it comes to meat, they're what? Doing it the old-fashioned way. That's to me, I'm not saying that to view, but for someone to think that, I don't think that's a wise view. I'll say that, okay? I'm trying to be as polite as possible. I don't think that's wise. For you to think that 99% of things that are from the original way of Christianity that they're not doing, you know that, but when it comes to meat, what? Chick-fil-A is slaughtered in chicken. You really think that? Do you think that? Do you believe that in your heart? Do you honestly believe in your heart that McDonald's are processing their meat according to some type of kitab? Do you honestly think that? I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. Do you think that Sheikh bin Baz or any other mufti that said it's permissible, do you think that's what he was talking about? Do you think he meant that? Or do you think he was talking about the concept of وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ? Their slaughtered animals is lawful for you at a time in which it wasn't. Ahlul Dhimma, the Jews, the Christians, people living in Arabia, in which they slaughtered the animal, versus a conglomerate in which they're processing 1,000 cows a day with a machine, with a button. So we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be what? Do you really believe deep down in your heart that Popeye's chicken is slaughtered properly? Or are you just following your desires because the grease is fresh? Huh? So that's my opinion. That's my advice. Allah surely knows best. Of course, there's a long discussion regarding this issue. And there are many scholars who have written books, many researchers who have had debates on this issue in English and in Arabic with regards to the concept of meat in the United States, meat in the Middle East, chicken that comes from Brazil, etc. That's my opinion. No Muslim should just say, I'm going to eat the halal stuff. It doesn't have to be zabiha or zabiha. I want to go to McDonald's or Popeyes or Chick-fil-A or Burger King and eat beef and chicken. That's my advice. And Allah surely knows best.
What steps should one take if your older sister seems to be committing fahisha, saying she's making the nikah soon, even though it's not happening?
Questions from London. Person thinks or feels that his older sister is committing fahisha, even though she's trying to get married or she's about to get married and the nikah soon. What steps should you take? Don't spy on her. Spying on her, in most cases, is only going to make things worse. In most cases, she's going to hide more from you. She's going to go into a shell more. She's going to avoid you more. Don't spy on her. If you know of something, you've seen something that has come to you, give her advice. Be honest, be upfront, and inshallah ta'ala, tatawaddad ilayha. You should try to use a medium, and that is blood and family. Luqman said to his son, Yaqub said to his sons, everyone understand this? You use that medium. You say, oh son, I love you because you're my son. Listen to me. Sister, we're related. We come from the same mother. You watched me grow up. You used to take me to the bathroom and change my diaper. I love you. I'm concerned about you. Try to do that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And hopefully that will work. Speed up the nikah. What's holding you back from getting married? Because you guys don't have enough money. Here, take this money. I'll lend you the money for the walima. I'll lend you the money for the flat. Everyone understand this? Try to find the cause or the root of the problem and give her advice. And if that doesn't work, and if she's unwilling to listen, and you've tried your best, then admonish her. Tell her to taqillah, to fear Allah, and do not do that which is displeasing to Allah openly and publicly like this in such a shameful manner. And Allah surely knows best, and of course make dua for her. Wallahu alam.
Initials SH, Sheffield, UK. Can you perform a good deed on behalf of someone who's living?
Question is from Sheffield, UK. Can you perform a good deed on behalf of someone who's living? It depends on what that good deed is. Someone makes you their wakil, their agent, for money or for marriage or for slaughtering. Or if you're talking about, I'm going to donate this on a scale of somebody else. The ulama have explained, and we've taken it in the Sharh Hanawi, that's pertaining to the mayyit, the dead Muslim. The Muslim who doesn't have the ability to work deeds and perform deeds. As the Prophet ﷺ says, لا تسبوا الأموات فإنهم قد أفضوا إلى ما قدموا. Don't curse the dead because they have reached, they're encountering what they put forth. Meaning there's no more putting forth. The hereafter is the day of harvest. And the dunya is the actual farm, the harvesting. You only reap in the hereafter. Okay? So at the end of the day, if you're going to donate good deeds to a Muslim, it should be someone who's dead based off of those details. If you want to do some good for someone who's alive, then allow them to be your wakil. Or make islah on behalf of someone. Some brothers are fighting and they're feuding, and you go to the second party and give them a gift. Even if you had to lie, as the hadith states. Mukhtar gave you this. And Mukhtar didn't give it to you, you brought it. Oh, really? Mukhtar gave me this? MashaAllah. And that softens his heart. And the next day, hey, we make up. Wallahu alam.
Initials AD, Copenhagen, Denmark. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. May Allah bless you. Please give your view on why Africa currently has lost its superiority to other continents.
Questions from Copenhagen, Denmark. May Allah bless you, Sheikh. Please give your opinion on why Africa has a great deal of inferiority to other continents. That's the question. May Allah bless you. I believe they said salam. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I would say, and Allah knows best, if you deal with history, then you have to deal with history, 100%. You got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't just take that which is convenient and that which is pretty and pleasant from history. The good, the bad, and the ugly of history. So therefore, looking at the continent of Africa, a huge continent, second largest continent in the world, and the other continents, specifically Europe or Western Europe, and the scramble for Africa, and how Africa was carved into pieces and sections, the French, the Germans, the Italians, the English, the Belgian, of course, the Congo. We can't forget about our man, Leopold. وهكذا. There are reasons behind that. And I've never been to all of the countries in Africa, some of them, but not all of them. But some of the reasons why the continent or certain countries are suffering from certain things is based off of reasons. Things that happened then, things that are happening now. Problems among Africans themselves, like other races as well. Fighting within, feuding within, tribal wars, what? Within. Influence from without. Religion being a factor. That Christianity is a religion of dominating others who aren't made in the image or form of God. Okay, and people believing that and accepting that. Technological superiority, advancement, and the list goes on to all types of problems and all types of reasons, whether it's with Africa or whether it's with what? Other than Africa. So I believe it's a mixture and a combination of problems, just like other races and other countries and continents as well. But the question was regarding what? Africa. So why is it inferior to those other countries? Well, I'll give my specific opinion on 2 points. Point number one is I don't agree that it's totally inferior to every other country in every other aspect. And oftentimes there are people who make things look a certain way on television or in a movie, and you talk to people from certain countries, they say it's really not like that. Everyone is not really starving or dying of disease and malaria, and it's not like that. Some people are, yes, but definitely not everyone. All right? Secondly, as a benefit for the Muslims is division. Tafarruq. How large the continent is, how many people there are. You don't think there are no wise people there, no brave people there, no strong people there, no fierce warriors there? And how you allow someone to come from an island, or you allow someone to come from a tiny speck of a country and conquer you and rule you. One of the reasons behind that is division. You're fighting and feuding among yourselves. We're the superior tribe. We're better than you. We're stronger than you. Okay? One brother, I won't mention his name, you all know him. Okay? He's from the descendants of Zulu. And we all know the Zulu. And their reputation for being great warriors and powerful, strong, formidable warriors. All right? Strategic warriors, etc. They took on the British, etc. So he was discussing me some of the problems in South Africa between the Zulu and this tribe and that tribe, and the list goes on. And he said one of the reasons behind they have so many tribal feuds and why they fight each other, let alone the oppressive white colonizer, them fighting and killing themselves, first and foremost, he says it's because what they believe about the tribes and how the tribes are inferior to others. And he said that there was one tribe that they said that he was eating one day, he was eating one night, and he choked on a bone. He was eating chicken, and he choked on a bone. You ever see somebody choke on a chicken bone before? It happens all the time. So the person, he was eating the chicken, and he choked on the bone, and he died. So obviously the other tribe, they got word of what happened, and they said, your king died from eating a chicken bone? That can mean one thing and one thing only, is that he was a weak and inferior man. Therefore, your whole entire tribe and clan and each and every one of your descendants are all what? Weak and inferior, and now we can fight you and take over you, and that is perpetual to this day. This tribe doesn't like that tribe, and they look down upon them to this day. Jahiliyyah. So if those different tribes were unified, and if they couldn't agree on everything, but just certain basic things, obviously the scramble of Africa wouldn't what? Wouldn't be how it was. And maybe some things, yes. And that's another part of history. People think that just because people are divided, that doesn't mean that. You can't deny the fact that there are some people that came from Europe that have superior techniques, superior tactics, superior firepower. They had advancement. You can't deny that. Can't deny that. Okay, you're shooting a spear or an arrow, and this person's come over to what? A cannon on a ship. All right? So the point that I'm trying to get to is, from the reasons why we have these different problems in Africa and other than Africa, in my humble opinion, is that people fight themselves so much, they curse each other so much, they bicker so much, and all of that is in light of the golden principle to divide and conquer. All they had to do was just continue and further the different wedges that were already between the tribes. We'll give you arms, we'll teach you a language. You kill each other. Allah surely knows best.
What would you say to a vegan who says meat is bad for you and it causes diseases and it's killing innocent?
Last question tonight is from the Bronx. What do you say to someone who's a vegan who says that meat is bad for you, it kills people, and it causes diseases, etc.? Give them da'wah to Islam. Teach them about La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And that the one who created the servants, who made the servants, he knows them better than the servants know themselves. Ala ya'lamu man khalaq wa huwa al-latiful khabir. The one who made, does he not know what he made more than those who have been made? So the one who made us and created us, according to what we believe as Muslims, gave us these animals as a blessing. And he also taught us about moderation and balance. There are diseases, there are sicknesses, illnesses, and infections. But there are people who are dying and starving in countries that don't eat meat. People that are vegetarians or vegans that don't eat meat, and they still have diseases, and they still die. And they still have cancerous things in their food. All right? So submission to Allah, the Creator, through authentic revelation. That's what Islam is. Submission to the Creator through authentic revelation. Once you can get that across to that vegan or that Christian or that atheist, everything else is easier to speak about. Veganism, polygamy, whatever it is. Submission to the will of the Creator. What? Through the authentic way. And Allah surely knows best. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.